The 10th Adhyaya, Vibhuti Yoga, is the path to connect with the divine glories. There are many ways to connect to the divine, and seeing his numerous manifestations is one of the ways, Vibhuti Yoga. It is difficult to see or feel Ishvara everywhere. Thus, Krishna himself shows the solution. Try to see God somewhere at least, and then attempt to visualize God everywhere, the final goal. The purpose of showing the various manifestations of the divine, Vibhuti Yoga, is to understand that Ishvara is manifested everywhere in the universe, Sarvatra Ishvara Abhivyakti, and that all the energies come from the Lord, Ishvaratva. This is a very lofty goal, and we need to start somewhere. When Ishvara himself says, I am so and so, I am here and there, I am everywhere, we may feel that Ishvara has a lot of pride for himself. In fact, it is his grace that he helps us to annihilate our pride, as the ego is one of the biggest obstacles for us on our spiritual path. This shows his greatness to make us humble. The first verse of the 10th Adhyaya, the Vibhuti Yoga, starts with the pledge of Krishna to tell Arjuna the highest knowledge without Arjuna's question. Shri Bhagavanu Vacha Bhuya Eva Mahabaho Shrunu Me Paramam Vachaha Yatte Ham Priyamanaya Vakshami Hitakamyaya. The Lord speaks. He says, O great warrior Arjuna, listen again. He says, listen to my divine words, as you are very dear to me and you are becoming happy. What I will tell you will be beneficial to you. Krishna wants to repeat the same highest divine message, Paramam Vacha, so that Arjuna and all the seekers can understand what Krishna is trying to say. Listening to the divine message itself about various manifestations, Vibhuti, can lead to our upliftment, Kalyana, and give us the highest benefit, Hita, to reach the highest goal of life, Moksha. Krishna starts by saying, no one knows me completely. He says, Name Vidu Suraganaha, all the group of Devas don't know me. Prabhavam na Maharshayaha, the great rishis don't know my origin. Aham Adihi Devanam cha Maharshinam Sarvashaha. He says, I am the origin of all the Devas and the great rishis. The divine Ishvara, Paramatma, is the cause, Karana, for the material world, which is its effect, Karya. Most of the religious philosophies in the world believe that God is the instrumental cause, Nimitta Karana. He is the creator of the universe. Whereas only Vedanta says that Ishvara is not just the instrumental cause, but also the material cause, Upadana Karana, of the creation. Meaning he is not just the creator, but he is the creation itself. One who knows me truly is relieved from all bondage, Krishna says. He says, Yomam Vetti Ajam Cha Anadim Loka Maheshwaram. One who knows me as unborn, without beginning, and the Lord of all the beings, Asammudha Samartyeshu. He is the real intelligent person amongst all the humans. Sarva Papai Pramuchyate. He is relieved of all the impurities, of all the sins. The real use of human intelligence is to understand the divinity as the foundation of this creation. The true understanding of the Almighty God in its true nature as the unseen, unmanifest, unborn Ishvara, who has no beginning but is the beginning of all, is rare. This kind of undivided vision, Abheda Drashti, can be achieved by seeing all the manifestations of the divine in the creation, and that is the purpose of Vibhuti Darshana Yoga. Now Krishna starts describing some of the human attributes and what we think we have because of our own ego, but Krishna says they are all due to me. Buddhi Gnanama Sammohaha. He says the pure intellect through which we can understand all the knowledge and the absence of delusion because of this knowledge and understanding. Kshama, forgiveness, even people who cause harm to us. Satyam, honesty, truthfulness in our actions, words and in our thoughts. Dama, Shamaha, sense control and mind control. Sukham, Dukkham, happiness and miseries. Bhava, Abhav, Abhavaha, creation and destruction of everything. Bhayam cha Abhayam, evacha. He says all the fears and the fearlessness that we have. Matta eva pruthak vidha bhavaha. All these different attributes that come from me, they are due to me. So there are many attributes that humans have been bestowed, which are like ornaments in our life, the Daivi Sampatti. They help us to achieve the higher goals of our life. Krishna says all these different attributes described are from me. Matta eva pruthak vidha, he says. Further he describes, he says, ahimsa, non-violence, samata, to remain equipoised or equanimous in all situations, tushtihi, satisfaction in life with all our possessions, tapaha, penance or austerities or discipline in life, self-control, dhanam, ability to give as donations, yasha, ayasha, becoming famous by our good deeds or getting a disrepute due to our bad deeds, pruthakvida bhava bhutanam bhavanti. Krishna says all these different human attributes happen matta eva. They are all because of me, they are due to me, or they are from me. So there is no reason for us humans to become proud of our achievements, as God himself says, all these are due to me. Now Krishna says, I am the beginning of all, I have no beginning. Purve, he says, at the origin of the universe, Sapta Maharshaya Tatha Chatvaraha Manavaha. 7 great rishis and 4 Manu. Madbhava, they are all having faith in me, they connected to me. Manasa Jata, they are all born from my mind. Esham Loka Ima Prajaha, and from them, all this progeny, all this entire creation was born from them. Krishna describes how the creation came into existence from the divine. It is said that only due to a mere sankalpa, a decision of the Lord, created the existence. He is in full control of when to create, when to dissolve the entire creation. And that's why it is said that the Maya Shakti, the energy of the Lord, is under the control of the Lord. Brahmashraya Maya. That is why the entire creation is said to be born from the mind of Ishvara. That's why the creation is called Manasa Srushti. We may feel, what is the point of knowing all this? Krishna describes the benefits of knowing the God's glories or vibhutis and his powers, the Yoga Shakti. Etam vibhutim yogam cha. He says, as described all these divine manifestations, vibhuti, and the ways we can understand them, the yoga. Mama yo vetti tattvataha. One who knows me truly. What does he get? What is the benefit? He says, Saha avikampena yogena yujjate. He achieves the steadfast yoga, avikampa yoga, that is the sthita prajna yoga of realization, of enlightenment, natra sanshaya. There is no doubt about it. His true nature is attributeless, nirguna, unborn, ajam, eternal, shashvata, avyaya, and completely unattached, asangaha. Krishna also describes the huge benefit of knowing God truly, to have his vision everywhere, sarvatra paramatma drashti, which is the goal of the devotee. Understanding the true nature of the divine God is not easy. Ishvara, defined in our scriptures as the one undivided, instrumental and material cause of the creation, abhinna nimitta upadana karana. The instrumental cause of the nimitta karana is like a potter, kumbhar, who creates the pot, the ghata. The material cause, the upadana karana, is the material, the mati, as the foundation of the pot, the ghata. In scriptures, Ishvara created the universe as the instrumental cause, and also God manifests everywhere in the creation as the material cause. And both these forms of God are one, abhinna. This is explained in scriptures by the example of a spider who creates a web from his own saliva and swallows the web after the job is done. The cycle of creation, dissolution goes on and on. Ishvara Jagata, within the divine, while the divinity remains one. And this is the only truth, Ekam Sata. By knowing divinity in such a way, one is sure to become realized and enlightened. Saha avikampena yogena uchyate. There is no doubt about it. Bhagavan says, Natra sanshaya. And how the wise devotes to the Lord. Krishna says, Aham sarvasya prabhavaha. I am the origin of all. Matta sarvam pravartate. Everything is inspired by me. I am the prerak, I am the antaryami who inspires everyone. Buddha bhava samanvitaha. The intelligent people, the Buddha jana, the viveki, the gnani, who are full of love and faith and respect and knowledge. iti matva bhajante mam. By knowing thus, they devote to me. So the wise devotee knows clearly that Ishvara is the ultimate origin of everything, aham sarvasya prabhavaha, and is the root cause of everything. The universe is the effect, karya, whereas God is the cause, karana, of all. The other understanding is that all the human attributes, energies, powers, they all come from the Almighty God. Matta sarvam pravartate. He is the one who inspires all and gets everything done through people who act merely as instruments, nimitta. Guru Maharaj teaches us that to change our vision in life, drashti parivartana, we need to change our attitudes to see the cause, the karana drashti. Whenever we see the effect, the karya, and all the differences, we should try and endeavor to see the cause, the undivided one karana behind everything. By the process of dissolution or the laya prakriya, whenever we see a karya, we try to see what is the karana. And thus by thinking of the source, we can reach and attain the divine understanding. Another attitude that we can develop is to see His divine inspiration everywhere. And that is the preraka drashti. That all the energies, all the attributes, everything comes from the Lord. He is the motivation for everything. These attitudes can lead us to devotion for the Lord, attraction towards the Lord, and reduces our attachment to the world. This helps us to see the divinity everywhere, sarvatra ishvara buddhi, or to see the grace of Krishna always, vasudevam sarvamiti, as he says in Gita ji. This creates a deep change in our outlook and our vision. What is the life of such a wise devotee? Krishna says, Macchittaha, one whose mind is in me. Madgata pranaha, one whose life is devoted to me. Bodhayanta parasparam, those devotees, they inspire each other when they meet each other. Nityam kathayanta chamam, and they always talk about me when they meet. Tushyanti cha ramanti cha, they are always contented and they are always connected to me. And what are the benefits of such ever-loving devotion to God? Bhagavan says, Tesham satata yuktanam, those devotees who are ever connected to me, bhajatam priti purvakam, who devote to me with love and respect. Dadami buddhi yogam tam. What do I give them? Bhagavan says, I give them the pure intellect. And what can we do with this pure intellect? Bhagavan says, Yena mam upayanti te, by which they attain me only. What a gift! Krishna says, for such devotees of mine, I give them the highest gift, the pure intellect, dadami buddhi yogam tam, which is the biggest and the most valuable possession of human life, which differentiates us from all other species. This pure intellect is the asset of which we can with which we can understand the divine. What is the purpose of having such a pure intellect? Such a pure intellect, buddhi yoga, is needed to have the real understanding of the divine knowledge of my original real self, Atma Swarupa, not just the material layers. Knowing the divinity of the eternity, the Brahma Gnana, as one of my true self. And this is the best gift of God to the devotee. When the individual becomes one with the Lord, yena mama upayanti te, and when the devotee does not feel separated from the Lord for even a moment. Why do you do so much for your devotees? Someone may ask. The Lord, Krishna says, Tesham eva anukampartham. For them, for those devotees, only due to my sheer compassion, he says, Aham ajnanajam tamah nashayam. I destroy the darkness of ignorance, Atma bhavasto, and illuminate their own true inner self. Gnanadipena bhasvata, he says, by kindling the light of knowledge. Krishna shows that this greatest gift is bestowed due to sheer grace, anukampa of the Almighty towards His highest devotees, who have given the highest priority in their life to the devotion of the Almighty God. Those who devote to me with love, this gift is bestowed so that devotees become uplifted and attain the highest goal of life. God bestows such a special grace for such devotees. Of course, the common grace is for everyone, but there is some special grace for special devotees to take away their delusion, moha, arising out of ignorance. By removing the darkness of ignorance, aham, Bhagavan says, ajnanajam tama nashayam, and kindling the light of knowledge so that devotees are able to realize their true self, Atma Bhavasto, which is one with the divine. And this knowledge is the biggest power. Now Arjuna, after understanding all this, he starts a beautiful, praiseful prayer, a stuti towards the Lord. Arjuna uvacha param brahma param dhama pavitram paramam bhavan purusham shashvatam divyam adidevamajam vibhum. Arjuna says, you are supremely divine Lord and you are the only final destination. You are the most auspicious of all and eternal, changeless being. You are divine, you are the cause of all the devas, you are unborn, ajam, you are vibhum, you are infinitely vast. Arjuna is praising the Lord as he is now accepting the divine Lord in his true form and appreciates his greatness. This may be followed by desire, which Arjuna will express to Krishna soon. And then he says, Ahu Tvam Rishaya Sarve. He says, this is how the rishis describe you, like Narada, Asita, Devala, and Veda Vyasa, all this, and you yourself also. He says, Swayamcha Eva Bravishi Me. You have also told me the same. All those learned and visionary wise rishis who have visualized Veda mantra in transcendence due to their great penance have witnessed the true divine form of the Lord. Enlightened people describe God in various forms and they completely accept Godhood, Ishwaratva, with faith. Even Krishna has introduced himself in the same way. Arjun says, O Keshava, Sarvametat Yanmam Badasirutam Manye. Whatever you say, I believe it is the truth. And your manifestations, Nahite Bhagwan Vyaktim Viduh Devana Danavaha. Your manifestations, your glories cannot be known by devas or by asuras or danava, demons. This shows Arjuna's faith in Krishna as he is now become his guide, mentor and his guru. And this is why faith is so important in spirituality. It is because the subjects are beyond my understanding. An individual cannot fathom things like rebirths, onward journey, karma, the results of karma. And that's why faith helps us to navigate on this path, though I may not understand this path completely. One may not oppose, but at least try to understand what the scriptures and the Guru are trying to tell us. He tells Krishna, Ho Purushottama, Ho complete, highest being, Swayam Eva Atmana Atmanam Tvam Vittha. You yourself only can know yourself completely. Bhuta Bhavana. You are the origin of all the beings. Bhutesha, you are the Lord of all the beings. You are the Lord of the Devas and the nurturer of the universe. No one knows the Ishvara completely, fully. He is the Lord of the universe and as the divinity within the beings, Antaryami, who inspires all the beings. Only Ishvara can describe his manifestations completely in all forms. And that's why Arjuna now says to Ishvara, to Krishna, that I want to know your glories, your vibhutis. He says, only you are capable of describing yourself completely. All your divine manifestations, how you pervade in this entire world. Arjuna praises the Lord by prayerfully telling him that only the divine God can know how he manifests from one to many and have so many different manifestations. He says, Yogi, O Yogi, how can I know you? By contemplating on you always. Keshu keshu cha bhaveshu, he says, Chintyosi Bhagavan Maya. In which all these places, objects, forms can I think of you? I want to think of you and see your manifestations everywhere. Vibhuti Darshana. Arjuna is now ready and keen to connect with the divine, to know him, to see him, to remember him, to think of him, and also want to see him in selected places to connect with him. Arjuna wants to see the various manifestations, vibhuti of the divine Lord in different places, objects and forms in this universe to connect to the divine. And that's why he tells Krishna, Vistarena Atmano Vibhuti Cham Yogam Cha. He says, tell me in great details all your various manifestations and how I can connect with them. Bhuya Kathayaha. You please tell me again and again. After listening to these nectarine divine forms, I am still not satisfied. Arjuna gently places his gentle request in front of Krishna after a prayerful praise of the divine Lord. Arjuna, who is an ideal student, ends his prayer and wishes to know the various divine manifestations of God. Vistarena Atmano Vibhutim, he says. In few verses, Krishna did describe these vibhutis in the 7th and the 9th Adhyaya, but Arjuna is still not satisfied. Truptihi na asti, he says. I'm still not satisfied. I still have a desire, enthusiasm to listen to such divine, sweet forms. Shrunato me amrutam, he says. I want to know all these in details. That's why he tells Krishna to tell him again and again, Bhuya Kathayaha. Krishna starts unfolding his manifold manifestations, his vibhuti. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha. He says, Hantate kathaishyami divyaya atma vibhutayah. Okay, I'm going to tell you all my divine glories. But he says, pradhanyatah. I can only tell you the main manifestations. Why? Because mena asti vistaraha asya antaha. He says, there is no end to my expanse of divine manifestations. Krishna immediately accepts Arjuna's prayer. It only shows his divine grace on the devotee who prayerfully praises the Lord and fully submits his request. There are endless different species, objects in the universe pervaded by the divine. How can anyone describe all of them? Krishna now starts description of his main manifestations, his vibhuti. He says, Aham Atma Gudakesha Sarva Bhuta Shayastitaha Aham Adishcha Madhyamcha Bhutanam Anta Evacha. He says, O Gudakesha, O Arjuna. Krishna addresses Arjuna as Gudakesha, one who has curly hair, or the one who has achieved victory over sleep. Arjuna is always very eager, very aware, and that's a great eligibility, adhikaritva, for a seeker to understand the divine knowledge, the Atma Jnana. Krishna says, Aham Atma, I am your true self, I am your Atman, Arjuna. And he says, Sarva Bhuta Shayastita, I am present as Atman in all the beings, not just you, Arjuna. Aham Adishcha Madhyamcha Bhutanamanta Evacha. I am the origin, I am the present, and I am end of all the beings. Everything starts from me and everything merges into me, and everything just remains because of me, sustains because of me. We are all spiritual divine beings wearing the clothes of the material body, senses, mind, intellect, of limited identification due to our ego. In the second Adhyaya, Krishna also described the process of death, vasansi jiranani yatha vihaya, as we change our old clothes and wear new ones. Similarly, this true self of ours, Atma, changes the old body and wears a new one. And these material layers have to be transcended with the right understanding to understand and reach to our divinity within, which is an inner journey. Finally, we need to understand that this same divinity is the all-pervading divinity in the universe. Divinity is one with many, many different manifestations. And Krishna now starts his different vibhuti darshana. He says, I am Vishnu in the 12 Adityas. Adityas are the son of Aditi and Kashyapa. I am the sun rays in sunlight, he says. I am Marichi, the wind god in the 49 Maruta Gana Devtas. I am the moon in the 27 planets, he says. Moon is of course not a planet, but every planet has a moon, and that's why Bhagavan says he is describing his vast expanse in the universe. So during the day we can see the sun and we can see God, whereas at night we can see moon and still see God. So we can try and see God everywhere. Krishna says, I am Samaveda in 4 Vedas, which is the one of the best Veda because one can sing the Samaveda shlokas or verses. I am Indra in all the Devatas because Indra is the king of all the Devas. I am the mind amongst all the senses. Mind is of course not one of the senses, but mind is the lord of all the senses because all the senses bring their information to the mind for processing. And I am the consciousness, the Chetana in all the beings with which we gain knowledge. In essence, we need to understand that God is everywhere and it is impossible to ignore the presence of divinity anywhere. Bhagavan says, I am Shankara in 11 Rudras and I am Kuber, the treasurer of the god in Yakshas and the Rakshas. Kuber is the son of Brahmaji and is the Yaksha, king of the Yaksha. I am fire in 8 Vasus. Fire is also treated like a god, the fire god. I am Meru in all the mountains, he says. Meru was used in the Samudra Manthana. Puro dasam cha mukhyam mam vidhi partha bruhaspatim. Oh Arjuna, see that I am Bruhaspati in all the teachers. Bruhaspati was the teacher of the Devas. Senaninam ham skandaha. I am Kartike or Shanmugam in all the commanders, who is the son of Shiva and brother of Ganesha. Sarasam asmi sagaraha. I am the ocean. See me as the ocean in all the large reservoirs. The expanse of divinity is much vaster than the ocean, so ocean reminds us of the vast Brahma. I am Bhrigu Rishi in all the great rishis, he says. On the Bhrigu was a great rishi on whose chest there was a Charana Chinna on the chest of Vishnu. Charana Chinna of Bhrigu. Bhrigu had kicked Vishnu as when there was a competition between all the devas to prove who was the greatest. Bhrigu kicked Vishnu, and when Vishnu woke up from his deep sleep or Ananta Shayana, he was very compassionate for Bhrigu, says that I hope you have not been hurt. And then the chinna of the legs, Bhrigu Charana chinna, have always been on Vishnu's Vakshasthala, his chest. Bhagavan says, I am Om in all the spoken words. Om is the one word that denotes God in all the different forms. The three letters A, U and Ma denotes the three states of our daily awareness, the awake, deep sleep and the dream state, and the three states of our body, the Stula, gross, Sukshma, subtle, and the Karana Sharira, the causal body, while the silence that happens or is present beyond the three letters, which is called Amatra, denotes the infinite formless divinity. I am chanting japa in all the yagnas. Krishna says chanting or nama japa is a very important sadhana for the spiritual journey, sadhana to achieve perfection, siddhi. It makes us truly independent, swadhina. Japa or chanting needs a purity of hands, words and peaceful mind. Bhagavan says, I am Himalaya in all the immovable objects. Himalaya is the king of all the mountains, very pious place for pilgrimage. There are 4 dhamas, the Badrinath, which is the abode of Lord Vishnu, Kailasha, abode of Lord Shiva. All these are situated in Himalaya. Krishna says, Ashwatha Sarva Vrukshanam. See me as a people tree amongst all the trees. People tree is the fig tree, or it is also called the Bodhi tree, because a lot of saints, including Gautam Buddha, they got enlightenment beneath the people tree or the Bodhi tree, and that's why it is considered a very pious tree in the Hindu Dharma. Devarshinam cha Naradaha. Narada, see me as Narada in all the Devarshis. Narada was all knowledgeable, great devotee of Lord Narayana, always used to chant his name. Gandharvanam Chitraratha. Chitraratha is the king of the Gandharvas, the god of the art forms, including dance, music. And Siddhanam Kapilo Munihi. I am Kapila Muni in all the Siddha, realized or enlightened people. Kapila Muni was the person or the saint who started the Samkhya philosophy of the Gnana, about the knowledge philosophy of the Vedanta. Uchchai Shravasamashwanam Viddhimam Amrutadbhavam. He says, amongst all the horses, see me as Uchchai Shravas, where the nectar was produced during Samudra Manthana. Uchchai Shravas and Airavata, where the two, one is the horse and the Airavata is the white elephant, and both is where Indra's horses and elephants, they were produced. And in human, see me as the king, because king is independent, he is a ruler of all, and that's why he is the highest form in the human race. In essence, we should try to endeavor to see God in all special places and then to see God everywhere in the universe. Krishna continues, he says, Ayudhanam aham vajram. In all the weapons, see me as Vajra. Vajra was the one weapon which was created to kill Vritrasur, the demon, by Indra. And this was made from the bones of Rishi Dadichi, who donated his life for this cause. And that's why it was a very powerful weapon. Dhenu namasmi Kamadhuka. In all the cows, see me as Kamadhenu. Kamadhenu was a white cow which is said to be a giver of all the desires of humans and always produces a lot of milk and protects the saints who have this Kamadhenu. There is a story which goes that once Vishwamitra invaded the sage Vashishta's ashram. Not invaded, but he came to live with sage Vashishta, who had this Kamadhenu. And then Vishwamitra got an idea that he could steal this Kamadhenu, who would give a lot of fruits, milk and all the other things, whatever anybody desires. And then Kamadhenu produced a lot of other birds, very, very violent birds, which attacked the army of King Vishwamitra, and they had to fled from there. So that's how the story goes. Prajanaschasmya Kandarpaha. In progeny, see me as the god of love, Kamadeva. Sarpanam asmi Vasuki. In all the snakes, see me as Vasuki. Anantaschasmi Naganam. In the Nagas are also types of reptiles. See me as Sheshanaga. Sheshanaga is also called the Ananta Shesha, who is the protector of Lord Vishnu, under whose protection Lord Vishnu sleeps in Ananta Shayana in his Dhama, the Vishnu Loka. Varuno Yadasamaham. In the water body, see me as Varuna Deva, the water god. Water is also considered God in Sanatana Dharma, because all the civilizations they were on the water banks. If you see the Indus Valley, the Nile Valley, all this Egyptian, the Indian, all the ancient civilizations were on the riverbeds, and that's why water is considered to be a lifeline, and water god is a Varuna Deva. Pitrunam Aryamaschasmi, and forefathers see me as King Aryama, the devas of the Pitru. Pitrus are the forefathers. Yamaha Sanyamatamaham. In all those who rules, I am the Yama. Yama is the god of death. The sun is the son of the sun god, is the brother of Yami, Yamunaji, and he is considered to be the person who first had death, and that's why he was made the god of death. And he creates a lot of discipline and works with a lot of discipline so that a balance in the universe is maintained. Prahladaschasmi Daityanam. He says, in demons, see me as Prahlada. Prahlada was a great devotee of Lord Vishnu, and he would see God everywhere. And his father Hiranyakashipu, a demon, could not withstand this, and he used to torture Prahlada. And then Bhagavan Vishnu himself had to take an incarnate of Narsimha Avatara to kill Hiranyakashipu and save Prahlada, his devotee. This is the story of the Bhagavad Purana. Kalaya Kalayatamaham. In what counts, I am the time. Mruganam cha Murgendraham. In all the animals, see me as a lion, because lion is the king of the forest. Though lion is not the fastest animal, cheetah is. Lion is not the tallest one, giraffe is. Lion is not the biggest animal, elephant is. A lion is not the most intelligent animal. There are a lot of other intelligent animals like dolphins, like pigs, much more intelligent than lion, but still lion is the king of the forest. Vainateyascha Pakshinam. In all the birds, see me as Garuda. Garuda is the fastest, and he has the longest, can fly to the longest distance, and is the vehicle of Lord Vishnu, who can reach any place wherever there is a need immediately on Garuda. And that's why Garuda is also worshipped in the ancient tradition. Pavana Pavatamasmi. In all that creates purity, I am the wind. Wind is also considered God because it creates a lot of purity. It takes away all the bad smell. Rama Shastra Bhutamaham. In all the armed people, see me as Rama. Rama was the incarnate of Lord Vishnu, also called Maryada Purushottama, because he was very disciplined. He would never, always carry bows and arrows and all the Shastra, but never use it, rarely would use it, and had a very disciplined life. Jashanam Makaraschasmin. Reptiles see me as a crocodile, who is hard from outside and soft from inside. Srotasam Asmi Jahannavi. And all the flowing rivers see me as the Ganges, the pious, the holy river, which is worshipped. And it is said that one who takes a dip in Ganges, all his sins will be destroyed. The essence is to see God at least somewhere and eventually everywhere. And Arjuna, he says, Sarganam Adyantascha Madhyam Chaiva Arjuna. He says, I am the beginning, I am the present, and I am end of all this universe that you can see. The creation is made up of insentient matter, the Jada, and the sentient consciousness, Chetana, which gives all the energy and power to this insentient matter. The creation undergoes stages of manifestations, Utpatti, dissolution, Pralaya, and this cycle goes on and on. The divine God is the material and the instrumental cause, Abhinna Nimitta Upadana Karana of the creation. Bhagavan says, Adhyatma Vidya Vidyanam. In all the knowledge, see me as the spiritual knowledge, which is the foundation of all the knowledge of the world. The divine spiritual knowledge comprises the knowledge of the self, the Atman, and the knowledge of the universal consciousness, the Chaitanya, as the all-pervading divinity, the Brahma. And this is the foundation of the universe. Vada Pravadatamaham. In all the people who discuss, I'm the dialogue, because in dialogue there are 2 points of view, and there is equanimity and sameness or evenness. In the discussion in between two people, God loves dialogue because it creates equal opportunity to discuss 2 different points of view, as God loves equality or samanta. Aksharana Makara Asmi. In alphabet, I am the vowel A. The vowel A is the first letter of the alphabet in the Devanagari script, is even in ABCD, and it pervades all other letters in Devanagari script, from which the Sanskrit language is derived, just as God pervades everywhere. Dvandva Samasikasyacha. In the collection of the words and the dual words which are very similar in meaning. Krishna says, say for example, Rama, Krishna, both are incarnations of Vishnu. win-win, a word like win-win, where both the meanings are the same, two words are the same. So, aham ev akshay kalaha, I am the eternal time, Krishna says. Time is constant against which all the beings and objects of the world keep constantly changing and destroying. God sees all the births and all the beings at one time in the past or in the future. Data aham vishwato mukhaha. Bhagavan says, I am the nurturer, the karma phala data, and I am the vishwato mukhaha. I am see everywhere, I am everywhere, and I see all the actions. I am the karma dhyaksha. It is the Ishvara, the divinity, who observes actions of all the beings as karma dhyaksha and accordingly gives them the birth in different species, karma phala data. From this perspective, Ishvara is the nurturer of all the beings, dhata aham, and is pervading in this entire universe, aham vishwato mukhaha. Whatever situations arise, we should think of the Lord. And finally, Bhagavan says, mrityu sarva haraschaham udbhavascha bhavishyatam. I am the death which takes away everything at once. Death is the only inevitable reality of life. Still, people live as if they are never going to die. Yogis learn to celebrate even death, as they understand it is like getting new clothes. In the eyes of God, death is a very trivial incident, happening every moment just as birth happens. Death is necessary for sustenance of the world. In death, if we could see the divinity at play, aham mrityu, Bhagavan says, then we will be getting over a lot of our fears and attain the fearlessness. Udbhavascha bhavishyatam, in what is to be created and what is to be improved in the future, God says, see my divinity in such innovations. Kirti, Shri, the fame due to righteousness, dharma, and the wealth or all the possessions, Bhagavan says, all these that you accumulate during your life is courtesy of the divinity who has given you so many opportunities and this human body. Vak, Bhagavan says, I am the speech. The words that we speak should be truthful, satya, pleasant, priya, and beneficial to others, hitakari. Our speech is our best gift from God. If used properly, we can create wonders and happiness to all those with whom we interact and communicate. However, the same speech, when used without awareness, proper thought, and understanding, can create disasters in relationships and amongst the loved ones. Smriti, I am the memory that holds the knowledge. Medha, I am the power to retain the knowledge and use it appropriately. And this power of memory and power of to retain the knowledge is appropriately used when it comes, is the grace of the divine. Dhruti, the power of patience, forbearance or courage. Kshama, forgiveness. Narinam, and all these qualities are much more commonly seen in the feminine gender. So good moral values, virtues like patience, forbearance, courage, even in the most difficult situations, by thinking that even this will pass, forgiveness even to those who give me pain, and all such qualities commonly found in women are due to his divine glories. Bhagavan says, Bruhat Sam Tatha Samnam, I am Bruhat Sam in the Sama Veda, Gayatri Chanda Samaham. In the meters, I am the Gayatri meter. Gayatri mantra is comprising of 24 akshara, and it is in the Gayatri meter. In the months, Masanam Margashirshaha. Margashirsha is Makshar Maina, the first holy month of the Hindu calendar. Rutunam Kusumah Karaha. In seasons, I am the Kusuma Rutu, the spring where the flowers bloom. Krishna continues revealing his many manifestations in prime places. He says, Dyutam Chalayatam Asmi. In gamblers, I am the game of dice, where still there is justice. Teja, Tejasvinamaham. In the brilliant people, I am their brilliance. Jasmi Vyavasayaha. In all the decisions of the individual intellectuals, I am the success. Sattvam Sattvatamaham. In Sattvic people, I am the Sattva Guna. Vrushinam Vasudevasmi. I am the Vrush. In the Vrushni clan, Bhagavan Krishna says himself that in this dynasty, I am Vasudeva Krishna. Pandavanam Dhananjaya. In Pandavas, I am the Arjuna, the best archer. Muninam Apyam Vyasaha. In Munis, I am Veda Vyasa. Munis means one who has a vast vision, Vistrut, and one who has complete, who can contemplate, Manana. Veda Vyasa is a revered sage who classified the Vedas into 4 parts, the Rig Veda, Sama Veda, Yajur Veda, and the Atharva Veda. And Vyas is also the author of many other scriptures like Mahabharata, the 18 Puranas, and the Brahma Sutra. He is considered to be immortal and one of the 7 Chiranjeevis who is still alive in the Kali Yuga. Kavina Mushana Kavihi, in the poets and visionaries see me as the Shukracharya, the guru of the demons, who was blessed by Shiva with the Sanjivani Vidya, who could restore life back to dead people. Dando Damayatam Asmi, in the suppressors see me as the punishment. Punishment is essential for people who commit crimes, as it is due to the fear of punishment that people choose to follow the right path. Niti Asmi Jigishatam, I am the strategy in the victorious people. Victory and success needs a lot of planning before the actual execution takes place. The priorities need to be weighed and decided before the actual planning happens. Maunam cha asmi guhyanam, he says, in secrets I am the silence. It is said silence is golden, as sometimes we spoil the game by speaking without thinking. Thus we need to be aware before speaking. Gnanam gnanavatamaham, in the wise see me as the knowledge. The knowledge is the greatest power. In the world, the subject or the domain knowledge is an asset to success, while in spirituality, the divine knowledge is a final goal to attain the divine. Yachapi sarvabhutanam bijam tad Arjuna. O Arjuna, in all the beings I am the seed from this flower or this tree springs. There is nothing in this world, living or non-living, which is separate from me. As the seed forms a tree, God is the seed of the world. All the manifestations, dissolution of the universe occurs in the divine God. The entire universe is an inseparable part of the divine. All that we see in this world is from and is divine. We are unable to see it clearly, as it is the unmanifest form of the God. Krishna is coming to an end of describing his multifold manifestations. As he already said, I'll tell you Pradhanyata, the main manifestations. No one can describe all my manifestations, because there is no end to his vast expanse, which is difficult to describe in words. That's why Krishna says, O Arjuna, O Parantapa, says, Mama Divyanam Vibhutinam na antaha asti. There is no end to my divine manifestations. Eshatu deshataha prokto vibhuti vistaromaya. Whatever I have told you is only one small part. It is not possible to describe all the vibhutis of mine completely. Manifestations of Bhagavan are innumerable, limitless. They cannot be described in words, as they are beyond the spoken language. One can go on and on, still cannot finish describing all the endless manifestations of the divine. Thus, Krishna is concluding his description of his own manifestations. He says, Yadya vibhutimat sattvam. Wherever you see any glory, any energy, Shrimat, wherever you see any wealth or prosperity, Urjitam evava, or you see any enthusiasm, any energy, Tat eva avagachatvam. There and then you only understand that Mama Teja Ansha Sambhavan. This arises from one small part, Ansha, of my Teja, of my powers. Whenever we see some unique attributes, strengths, energies, prosperity, wealth, we generally ascribe it to our efforts, our own intelligence, due to our limited understanding. In the view of Krishna, all these attributes and energies are due to the divine grace of the God. We see it in ourselves due to our ego identification and pride, which is the biggest obstacle on the path of spiritual journey, as this limited identification does not allow us to surrender to the grand design of this divinity. In contrast, when Krishna shows his manifestations in various places and attributes, it is not out of his limited identification that he says, I am at all these places. In spite of everything arising out of him, all the vibhutis, he is unattached to all these material things and beings, is asanga. And that is his yoga shakti, and that is his splendor, which we need to understand. The powers and energy of the divine are unlimited. It is difficult for us mortals to even fathom this power. That is why Krishna says, whenever you see any attribute, energy, wealth or prosperity, see that it comes from a small part of my entire powers. It is difficult for us to fathom even this. Thus Krishna shows us an alternative solution. Athava Arjuna, he says, O Arjuna, bahuna etena kim gnatena tava. Knowing more than this, what benefit shall you have, Arjuna? Aham idam krutsnasya jagataha eka anshena vishtabhya sthitaha. Know that I behold this entire universe by just one small part, ansha, of my divine self. Krishna tells Arjuna, Krishna summarizes his manifestations. He has already said it cannot be fully described. For us, the understanding is that whatever we see in this world, we should try to see God. Krishna says it suffices to say that he is the foundation of this universe by his yogic powers, just as the energy powerhouse supplies electricity to all the cities and homes, and all the appliances like lights, fans, AC and others work with this energy. The energy is unseen, but all the different manifestations of its powers are seen. Similarly, God is the powerhouse of the energy of this universe with his unseen energy, and all the beings and things manifest and do their job accordingly. It is said in the scriptures that the manifest world, which is sustained by the form of the divine, the Saguna Swarupa, is just a fraction of the powers of the supreme formless divinity, the Sarvavyapak Nirguna Swarupa, which is much more difficult to grasp. Arjuna would want to see the divinity everywhere by seeing the giant cosmic form Vishwarupa Darshana of the God. Krishna reveals this form, the Vishwarupa Darshana, to Arjuna in the 11th Adhyaya. We come to the end of the 10th Adhyaya. Om Tat Saditi Srimad Bhagavad Gitasu Upanishadsu Brahma Vidyayam Yoga Shastre Shri Krishna Arjuna Samvade Vibhuti Yogo Nama Dashamodhyayaha.